Positioning himself and Jiahua Capital as partners alongside China's leading consumer companies is how Xiangqian defines their role. Xiangqian has always been dedicated to consumer investment, leading Jiahua to achieve outstanding results that impressed the industry.
What year was Jiahua Capital founded?
2007.
What was the opportunity in 2007 to start Jiahua?
I've always had dreams. I wanted to create my own brand. I felt this market was big enough. For China's equity investment market, direct financing would open up. Back then, China's equity trading market, including capital and stock markets, was a tiny stream. So we were like the ducks that sensed the warmth of the river first. We were among the earliest to spot the changes in the market.
In most regular businesses, like starting a beverage company or working in building materials, people usually focus on one track for years, gradually building experience and competitive barriers in that field. But in equity investment, things are always changing. The market targets shift, demand changes, and capital policies change too.
So in equity investment, it really is quite challenging. Like you said, it's a culture of partnership, a culture of entrepreneurship, and an industry about catching changes. At the same time, you have to find the unchanging underlying business logic, which is extremely difficult to do.
If you could imagine it, what kind of perfect scenario would you hope Jiahua could experience?
So actually, in this journey of bringing in investors that I'm undertaking, I have a fundamental logic behind it. Why bring in Taikang? Taikang is also an insurance company, and it has tremendous strength. If in the future we have the opportunity to do some industrial integration, insurance companies are actually the main force of long-term capital going forward. Of course, whether such opportunities will arise still depends on what the market proves. As for the second, I believe the same is true for the Chinese economy. The Chinese economy has grown rapidly for 40 years, so there will be an adjustment. During this, institutions will follow the logic, play the pro-cyclical logic, and the left side trading, the logic of buying high and selling high. Over time, people have developed an arbitrage mindset. But if the economy really does decline, if it goes down, or even experiences major turbulence, not an economic crisis, then you see right side trading becomes important. That's when industries start to consolidate. And after the tide recedes, a lot of good companies begin to reveal their true value as prices drop. Now is the chance for those with industrial dreams, a vision for China's future, or the insight and drive to lead industry consolidation. I believe China's economy restructures and upgrades for quality development, creating opportunities for well-prepared institutions. This is what I want to do. Whether it can be achieved or not really depends on whether you have that kind of luck in life.
What about right now, at this very moment? In this era of unprecedented change in 100 years, the questions I get asked most are about entrepreneurs feeling lost and investors anxious. During times of major change, when others are fearful, some become greedy. When others are greedy, some become fearful. Most people are still conflicted. What have you been thinking about lately, and what have you been working on? Have you increased your investment pace or slowed it down?
It's not about the pace. Actually, think about it the other way. Charlie Munger discussed this. Since we're in a time of huge change, follow the logic and consider what structural opportunities this shift brings.
So in this kind of once-in-a-century upheaval, which structural opportunities will emerge? Can you share the answer with us?
I can't share that.
You can't share?
It's a secret. Everything I've arranged up to now has been in preparation for this. Whether big or small, I think it's worth a shot. Otherwise, there's no point. Besides, Jiahua has already gotten through the toughest times and entered a relatively comfortable stage. So why am I bringing in these top-tier institutions? To challenge myself, to put pressure on myself. At the same time, it's because I've discovered structural opportunities in China's future, and these kinds of opportunities require teaming up with industry giants to compete together. Most of you believe because you see, but I see because I believe. That's the real ability to unlock the code to wealth.
So you see, brands change very quickly, right? This is a small observation we have as investors. Modern Chinese tea, making Chinese tea that young people in China enjoy, making good Chinese tea, and doing Chinese tea well. This has been Gui Yingdu's lifelong dream. Right? I think the market has given him a lot of feedback and even some misunderstandings. The founder of Small Observation is Gui Yingdu. Yes, he is also a very outstanding entrepreneur and a very passionate businessman. I once had a conversation with him at the Bullet Forum in 2021, and he said the same thing in front of the camera. The market has a lot of misunderstandings about him. The reason I invested in him is simply because we were classmates. You're a great partner, a good friend. I believe that after going through so many ups and downs in the market, and after so many successful ventures, he has finally found a major track. Rice, flour, oil, salt, soy sauce, vinegar, and tea. This is a huge industry, and it's also a very traditional one. Because 40,000 tea companies together can't match the profit of just one. He made it his mission to change the world, right? To change the habit of young Chinese people drinking Chinese tea, right? Da Hong Pao green tea. Green tea, white tea. Yes, that's Leofin, the brand we invested in. You see, on this street, there are so many brands we've invested in. Just take a look. So how many consumer goods? Wang Shanzhang. The founder is actually my student.
Did we invest?
No, we didn't. Right? This is my student's project, Xiangqian, known for spring. NFC. This is the upgraded version of fruit juice. Yeah, it's frozen at minus 17 degrees Celsius. This is what we call consumption upgrading. Behind every small product, there's business and innovation. The key is whether this small product can become a global product. The potential for exciting business is huge. It's really great shopping with you. You're learning something new, right? Normally, you guys don't pay attention to this, do you? When I talk about consumer issues, it's just so common, but you take it for granted. Welcome to Lao Tang Street. First of all, you have to wash your hands, and we take food safety very seriously, as well as consumer health. If you don't wash your hands, you can't eat. This is a dedicated hand-washing area. Let's take a look at the special hand-washing station.
Well, the sensor on this faucet is pretty strong. And here's the automatic soap dispenser. Nice. I'll have a green pepper dish, dried tofu, and shredded pork. How about you? There are also apples, fried chicken, and a stir-fried beef. Where are you going to eat?
I'll have the same as you.
And let's share, okay? If you like the same flavors as me, we can share.
Over the years, Xiangqian led Xiangqian of Capital to make numerous successful investments in consumer sector. Barbie Foods, Johnson Beverage, and Emma were both listed on the A-Share main board in succession.
The last time I met, the founder of Country Chicken was at the 2019 National Founders Conference. What was really interesting and left the deepest impression on me was, after he finished, he kept chasing after me with one question. That was 2 years ago. He asked, "Shall I? Have you done it yet?" A digitalized company, one that can make all my systems, like the supply chain system, the accounting system, all of my service systems, intelligent and standardized.
He kept following up with me, asking if I had any recommendations for mincemeat. That's what makes Country Chicken special. It's why I invested. He treats learning as a lifelong way to keep refreshing and making progress. That's why, in the industry, his company has a fully self-controlled, standardized, end-to-end store empowerment system. With the price of a regular fast food meal, you can enjoy quality service.
And what else can it achieve? Digitalization. They've invested heavily in digitalization. So, would you invest in tech companies that serve these service brands?
Yes, I would, but it depends on the opportunity, because as an investor,
It's important to know what to pursue and what not to. Right, and in this investment career, there are often waves and trends. It's rare for an investor to stick to just one track all the time. Usually, every 6 months, they switch to a new label, a new business card.
So this is where you see the difference with us, right? We stay focused and dedicated to the consumer services sector, and we've never changed our original intention. Our investments are all distributed in what? They're spread across the everyday lifestyles of ordinary people. We really get into the heart of daily life. We become a part of people's lifestyles, and that's how we can weather different cycles. That's why we never chase after the latest trends.
What do you think will be the biggest challenge for Lao Xiangji in the future?
I think the biggest challenge Lao Xiangji will face is management. I've always believed that Chinese fast food is, at its core, a science of management. And secondly, what is its essence? Fast food is a convenient service for the people. Since we enter thousands of households, we must sincerely provide good products and good service to the people, as long as we don't lose sight of this original intention. If our operational management can reach an international and modern level, then Lao Xiangji's Chinese fast food system will succeed. So where does the challenge in management really lie? It's in perception. Whose perception? The founder's perception. For example, do you see this as just a restaurant business? Do you approach restaurant management with the chef's mindset, a store manager's mindset, or an entrepreneur's mindset? There are fundamental differences between these. So how do you improve your perception? By learning. What's the best way to learn? Benchmark yourself. See how McDonald's does it. See how Starbucks does it. Like I always say, there's nothing new under the sun. The United States is a really unique country. When it comes to the overall competition between China and the US, there's really not much left to debate. But in terms of quality, there's still a gap. Where is that gap? It's in management science. So if one day we come to eat at Lao Xiangji today,